Ahoy!
Episode 21.
Yes.
21 episodes deep.
I'm Nick.
I'm Adam.
Welcome to Bottom of the Stream.
Indeed. Welcome indeed. How are you?
Very good. I am a bit raspy.
You've got a bit of a cold.
Yeah.
Not good.
My whole house is down at the minute with illness.
It's like that film, Nick's House Down.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, the little ones brought some germs back from nursery or whatever. And
bloody kids.
It's just, yeah.
So I shouldn't bother.
There you go.
Okay, well, we'll try and keep you upbeat.
It's
You'll be fine. You'll
good.
battle through it. You're
Yeah.
a battler. You always have been.
Yeah.
Anything good at the top of the stream you've been watching?
What have we watched this week? We've started to watch, and excuse me if we're way behind the times, because I'm aware this is a very popular show.
Go on.
It's been around for several years. But we started to watch Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, right, yeah. Never
Which
watched
is
it.
a sitcom with Ellie Kemper, who was in Bridesmaids, The Office, American Office. Yeah, it's good.
Cool.
It's funny. It's the same team who made like 30 Rock.
Oh, I love 30 Rock.
It's good.
Oh, I'll check it out.
Do you know the premise?
No, not really.
It's basically about a woman who's been kept hostage in an underground bunker by a mad religious leader for 15 years, and they're rescued and they're back in.
And they have to integrate
society.
themselves back in.
Well, yeah, if it follows Kimmy, yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'll check that out.
Yeah, it's a laugh.
I'll add it to my list.
Okay.
I've been watching something on the dark side. I've been watching something on Amazon this week.
Oh.
I left Netflix this week, so
Okay.
I've been watching The Boys.
Okay, yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I've heard
really
good
good.
things.
But I'm not going to talk about it because it's not Netflix.
Okay.
But it's really good. Other than that, I haven't really seen anything. I've noticed that season 3 of Glow's appeared today, or yesterday, or whenever it appeared.
Yeah, I would definitely be on that
Definitely.
sooner rather than later.
Glow's a brilliant show. Even if you're not into wrestling, I think you'd get something out of Glow. It's a really good show.
And the second series improved on the first series.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see whether...
They're heading to Vegas in this series, I think.
Yeah,
so
whether it can keep up the standard.
Hopefully.
It's really good.
So that's next on my list, I think.
It's funny, it's dramatic, good characters.
Yeah, it probably is at the bottom of the stream a little bit. It's not very. It's not mainstream, but
I guess not.
it's quite popular.
But it's
made it to 3 seasons.
It's a
somebody's
critical.
watching it.
It's a critics darling of the critics, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But yeah, definitely check out Glow. I've also today saw the trailer for Dark Crystal.
Yes, I've seen that trailer
Netflix
a couple of weeks ago.
Remaking that.
Yeah.
So that comes out on the 30th of August. So definitely be watching that.
So
that's good.
Yeah, good bit of 80s nostalgia.
Yeah, Jim Henson's puppets.
They were creepy.
They were creepy. Dark Crystal's a really creepy film.
Do you know what? Actually, talking about the Dark Crystal, I actually found the good guys creepier than the bad guys. No, the like elfin.
Yeah, definitely.
Ones creepier than is it the Skeksis?
That sounds right.
Vulture-y.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so this TV show remake looks really good, so that could be quite interesting, I think.
Yeah.
Right, shall I do the socials? And I've got something I need to talk to you about from last week's episode.
Okay, good. Go for it.
I've got a bit of an announcement during the socials.
Okay.
So that's quite exciting.
Very good.
So Twitter is BOTS_podcast. So is Instagram, BOTS_podcast. Facebook.com/bottom of the stream. The email address is bottomofthestream@gmail.com. And the website is bottomofthestream.com.
Website.
So we have brought the domain, bottomofthestream.com. It's pretty basic what's up there at the minute, but we're going to be working on it, I think. You can listen to every episode directly from the website from your browser. And the stream table's up there. There's links up there to all the major podcasting apps. Go check out bottomofthestream.com. We're going to be adding to it. We're going to do like a news section and a few blogs, I think.
That's a good idea. I think the internet's going to be quite a big thing.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's a good idea. We've got in on that.
Yeah, I think we've got in on the ground floor, got in early. So yeah, check out bottomofthestream.com. I've spent some money on it, so please check it out. Because I haven't got much of that. Last week we talked about Wish Upon.
Yes.
And
we've got some admin to do, haven't we?
A little bit.
Yeah.
So we had a bit of a discussion about towards the end of the film, where the guy slit his wrists.
Paul.
Yeah. And then appeared in the very next scene.
Yes.
And we couldn't decide if that was a continuity error or what.
Because other things didn't undo.
Yes. So I went back and rewatched the end of the film, and it definitely does happen. You weren't imagining it. He definitely slits his wrist, gets put in an ambulance, and then he's in the next scene as if nothing had happened. I think now that it is the wish he's undoing.
Right.
Because it was during that segment of the wish he's undoing.
Okay.
And he was the only one
Because she was still
she'd healed, but the scars were still there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a continuity error, but I do think it's a really poor
inconsistency
in the film.
I can accept the dog not coming back. I don't. If you're dead, you don't come back.
The dog was a consequence of a wish, though, whereas Paul was an actual part of a wish.
Yeah.
So there's a difference there, but it didn't need to be in that scene. He could have not been in that scene, and we would not be having this discussion. He didn't. It was like a brief split second.
Yeah.
And he didn't need to be there.
So would you say it was stupid he was in it?
I would agree with you that part of that film was stupid. Yes.
Hence the one-word review. Are you still angry it was that far down?
No, I've got over it. I've got over it. I still think it should be slightly higher, maybe, but I've got over it. Another thing, we had a chat with one of your friend of mine, Wayne.
Oh, yes.
Friend of the show, Wayne Evans. I don't know his Twitter name. I would shout his Twitter name out, but I don't know it, and I'm not going to. He was quite upset that a dog had died in Wish Upon, and he wasn't prepared for it.
Yeah.
And apparently this is a thing. People need to know if dogs die in films.
Okay.
So there's a website out there.
It's like the Pigeon Movie Database.
Like the Pigeon Movie Database. And this website is doesthedogdie.com.
Brilliant.
And you can type in any film and it will tell you if the dog dies.
Excellent.
So I typed in Wish Upon. And what it is, users tick yes or no to various questions. And obviously the more yeses you get, then yes, the dog does die.
Yeah. And
the more no's you get. So in Wish Upon, there's 38 yeses and no no's.
Okay.
So a dog definitely dies in Wish Upon. However, there's a caveat that by the end of the movie, the dog's alive, which is true. There's also, that's not the only question this website asks.
Okay.
Does the cat die?
Right.
That's the next question. 0 yeses, 7 no's. No cat in the film.
Yeah.
Does a horse die? Does an animal die? Are animals abused? Are any teeth damaged?
Right.
Is a question. Are needles and syringes used? Are there abortions? And are there anxiety attacks?
Wow.
So doesthedogdie.com goes from comedy to dark.
Wow.
Quickly.
that has gone dark.
So that's Wish Upon. I've also put in this week's film that we're doing, Hold the Dark.
Yeah.
Which is about wolves.
It's got a lot of animals in it, yeah.
Does the dog die? No.
Okay.
Is the dog a wolf?
It's a wolf.
It's a wolf. Does an animal die? Yes. You don't see an animal die in this film that we're about to talk.
No.
But there is
a
scene of a dead animal in it. So there's 33 yeses, but 3 no's.
Ooh. Okay.
Are teeth damaged? Yes. Don't know. Don't remember that happening. Are needles and syringes used? No. So yeah, if you want to know, are there bugs? There's more questions. Are there bugs? Are there clowns? Are there fat jokes?
Okay.
Are there ghosts? Are there incestuous relationships?
Right.
Hold the Dark. Yes.
Well, no. I will talk about that because I do have a bit of a theory on that.
So basically, anybody can ask a question on doesthedogdie.com.
Yeah.
There's loads. Look at all these questions. This is just for Hold the Dark.
There
must be 100 questions. And so if you want to know something about a film, it doesn't necessarily be, does the dog die? You can ask any question. Does someone fart or spit? No.
Can we potentially put these links to these useful websites on our website?
Yeah, I will tweet a link out to it, and I will also put some links up. Maybe that's a good page for the websites that we've come across during our time. Like
reference material.
Like the Pigeon Movie Database, and now doesthedogdie.com.
Okay.
So yeah, check that out. It's a good fun website, and you can type in any film and it will tell you. I don't know if it does TV shows. I'm presuming it probably does. Yeah, it does. So yeah, you type in anything and it will tell you if a dog dies or if anything else you want to know.
Excellent. I'm definitely checking that out.
Check it out.
So I also have a quick update from last week.
Okay.
A Hunk or Monk update.
Hunk or Monk update. Hunk or Monk went down a storm with our listeners.
All the hunks are talking about it.
All the hunks are talking about it. The monks are not because they're on silent.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just tell you a joke, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, John Cena, the hunk in question.
Is he talking about it?
Well, he's been having he's popped up a couple of times on my Twitter this week. He's been creating a few waves.
Oh, really?
Because he's started doing some random Normo following.
Oh.
So I've seen quite a few people just sort of like, oh, John Cena's following me.
How random.
So maybe he's not that far away from finding out about Hunk or Monk.
Maybe not. We followed him on the bottom of the stream Twitter this week, so maybe he'll follow us back.
No, and that made me...
If he does, I'm definitely DMing him and showing him that Hunk or Monk poster I made.
The other thing that reminded me of was something I wanted to ask you, because I can't remember if this is true or if I've dreamt it.
Okay.
Weren't you followed at one point by David Hasselhoff?
Yeah. I think I still am.
Excellent. I thought so.
Yeah, I was.
Cool.
I've not checked for a while, but I'd be devastated if I'm not. It wasn't on the Twitter account I'm using currently. It's on one of my older ones.
Right. Okay. I thought so.
Yeah, it was.
That just occurred to me. Anyway.
Right, that's all the admin done, I think.
Yeah.
Don't forget to go to bottomofthestream.com. I'm going to say it again because I'm quite excited and it was quite expensive. Shall we talk about the film?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. So, Hold the Dark.
Yeah.
Is a 2018 film. It's a 15. It is 2 hours and 5 minutes long and is currently rated at 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yeah.
Stars Jeffrey Wright as Russell Core, Alexander Skarsgård as Vernon Sloan, and I have not written down the name of the lady that's in it.
Do you know you should have done?
I should have, because she's really good.
So, Medora.
Medora, that's it. Medora Sloan.
She's played by Riley Keough.
Thank you. I don't know why I didn't write that down.
And do you have a fact about Riley Keough? Because
no,
I do.
I didn't even write her name down.
Right.
Go on.
She is someone very famous's granddaughter.
Oh, really?
Like, who is pretty much the most famous person you could think of. If you're just across the sphere of entertainment, you know, this person is literally one of the most famous entertainers who has ever lived.
Nicolas Cage.
Good guess. Good guess, but no.
So she's his granddaughter?
Yes.
So we're talking older?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He is no longer alive. She is Elvis Presley's granddaughter.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow, that is the most famous man you can think of.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody more famous. Wow.
Yeah, she's...
Doesn't Nicolas Cage have some sort of relationship with Elvis Presley as well?
Oh, yeah, you're right, because... So, Riley Keough is Lisa Marie Presley's daughter.
Yeah.
And at one point, Nicolas Cage was with...
There you go.
Lisa Marie Presley.
Oh, I wasn't far off then.
So, maybe, technically, we could claim Nicolas Cage as her stepdad.
Maybe. That might be slanderous, though. Don't say it.
At some point. Maybe. I don't know if that
cool.
passed
So
us.
she's Elvis's granddaughter. Interesting.
Yeah. There you go.
Cool. The film was directed by Jeremy Saulnier.
Yes.
Who we have come across before.
We have.
He is our first repeat director across Bottom of the Stream out of the 21 episodes we've now done. I can't really remember any facts about him, but he did direct Murder Party.
Yeah.
She's alright. It's not great.
It's fine, but as we said at the time...
Quite at the bottom of the list, so it can't be that good.
Yeah, as we said at the time, though, it's the lowest budgeted thing we've watched.
Definitely.
It was pretty much a student film.
Yes.
Did you pick up who wrote this film?
Yes.
Go on, you go for it then.
No, you go for it.
No, you go for it.
It was written by, I'm going to say Mason Blair.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's a soft C. It's got a C in it, but I'm going with a soft. Who played the werewolf face man in Murder Party.
Yeah.
And also wrote Hold the Dark.
Yeah, he's in Hold the Dark.
He's in Hold the Dark as well. So he's our second repeat actor.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, he wrote this. He's in Murder Party and he's in this and he wrote this. And it seems like him and Jeremy Saulnier, because he's in Green Room as well. So I think them two must have grown up together or worked together a lot.
Yeah.
Over their time.
Frequent collaborators.
Yeah.
So what's the premise?
The premise of Hold the Dark is that a lady's son gets kidnapped by wolves. Jeffrey Wright plays a guy called Russell Core, who is some sort of expert in wolfage.
He's a wolf tracker.
He's a wolf tracker, yeah, he can find...
Expert.
Yeah, he's a wolf expert. And she calls him in to try and help her find her son, either find his body or find him.
Yeah, or at minimum, she sort of says... So she writes him a letter, and it starts with a voiceover.
It does again.
And she sort of, at minimum, wants him to bring back the wolf.
Yeah.
That killed her son.
Yeah, because her husband's about to come back from the Iraq War, which gives her a time frame of where this film's set, and she needs something to show him when he comes back.
Correct. So, do you know anything of the name Medora?
No. I like it.
It's quite an unusual name.
It is a very unusual
name. So, Medora,
yeah.
I'm bringing out my English literature degree here.
Oh, somebody's got an English literature degree.
Medora is a character in a poem by Byron.
Right.
And the poem's called The Corsair, and she is the wife of basically a pirate.
Oh, right.
Who goes away.
Getting a literature lesson.
So her husband goes away overseas to fight and loot and pillage, and she waits at home for him to return.
Oh.
Bit similar to this character.
That's exactly how this film is, yeah.
So there you go. So that's where that name comes from.
Wicked. Good spot.
And this is an adaptation of a book, and it's a Netflix original.
Yes.
Cool. Brilliant. So
the film starts with her writing this letter to Core
as he's travelling to Alaska.
This film's all set in Alaska.
Yeah.
Beautiful Alaska.
Yeah.
You get lots of nice like aerial shots of Alaska and things like that. Yeah, so she's writing him a letter asking him to come and help her find her son, basically, because he was there 1 minute and then he just disappeared. You see him playing out in the snow, and he's just not there anymore. Yeah. So he heads out there to meet her.
Yeah, and as he meets her, she sort of says, "There's actually been it's not the only case of a wolf taking a child recently in the village. There's been a couple more as well." You're right. This is a beautiful film.
Yeah, it's really well shot.
And to think that it wasn't in the cinema.
Yeah.
Is really strange.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because that's what this sort of thing was made for.
Yeah. There's loads of like high shots of like drone shots and helicopter shots of Alaska. The very first, right at the very beginning, you see a really high shot of a car driving along a like highway, a mountain road.
Yeah.
Reminded me a lot of the first scene of The Shining. Because that's all like snowy peaks and cars driving to it.
Yeah, and a lot of the first sort of 10 to 15 minutes is just what we've just covered. So it's Cole meeting Medora, and it turns out he's working pro bono, isn't he?
Pro bono.
She can't pay him.
Yeah.
So
did you catch the very first thing she said to him?
What was that?
When he knocked on the door and she opened the door. Or she came out before as he got out of his car and she went, "Oh, you're old." This really made me laugh. Because she'd got a book that he'd written.
Yeah. Which
she'd obviously written a while ago. She hadn't expected him to age, but I did like that.
I will say this straight away. Jeffrey Wright, who played Core, I thought he was great.
He's amazing. Have you seen Westworld?
Yes.
He's really good in Westworld.
Yeah.
He plays that so well. That's a great show.
And he was great in this. He really had the sort of down at heel, a character who's been through a lot of shit.
He's a budget Forrest Whitaker, but he plays it well.
I recognised him from, I don't know if it's right to say he's most famous for, because he's in loads of stuff.
Yeah.
But he's been in all the newish James Bonds, hasn't he? With Daniel Craig.
I don't know.
Yeah, he has. Oh, okay. Say yes.
I'm gonna put myself out here and say I've never seen a James Bond film.
What, any of them?
Any of them.
What, even on like a Sunday afternoon one? Well, that really surprised me.
Yeah,
I'm not really a fan of them, but
there was a point in my life where I hadn't seen any, and then that became a thing.
Oh, right.
And now I'm the guy who's never seen a James Bond film, and so I feel like I can never watch one now.
I'm not a massive fan of them. They don't really do anything for me, but I'm just surprised by the law of averages.
Yeah,
the amount that they're on TV over here in the UK.
Yeah,
that you've not just happened to sit through one.
I don't know if I'm going to get abused for that, but probably.
I don't think they're all they're cracked up to be, personally.
You're definitely going to get abused for it.
Yeah.
I can't even slag them off. I've never seen it. Because you don't like it.
Bring it on.
How did we get onto James Bond?
Because of Jeffrey Wright.
Oh yeah, because of Jeffrey Wright.
So
she says she can't pay him and he says chocolate's fine.
Yes.
She gives him some chocolate.
Yes, she does. And straight away, you see how nicely this film's shot. You've got all the harsh, bright colours outside. Every time they're inside in a cabin, it's warm, it's muted. There's a fire on.
Yeah.
There's a real contrast, and it's really well shot.
Yeah.
And it looks great.
It does.
Then some weird stuff happens.
It does get batshit crazy.
So Mr. Core is curled up on the couch trying to get some sleep before he heads off into the snow in the morning.
Yeah.
And he's woken to the sound of Medora having a bath.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night. And she gets out of the bath.
She's talking to herself while she's having a bath.
Yeah, sort of chanting almost. Chanting,
yeah.
She gets out of the bath.
Yeah.
It's dark as.
Yeah.
She's wearing a mask.
She's wearing a really creepy mask.
Like a wooden wolf mask.
Yeah.
And she comes and like snuggles up to him.
Yeah, she gets in bed with him and...
They have a bit of a cuddle. And then she
don't they?
They spoon. And then she kind of gets him to choke her.
Yeah, she puts his hand around her neck as they're like lying there. And then he pulls it away eventually, but it's weird.
Yeah, and that's our first clue that things aren't.
Yeah, Medora's not all she's cracked up to be. Or not all that she seems.
And meanwhile, there's a native Inuit outside watching the cabin.
Yes, just watching.
Yeah.
Then we rather harshly cut into the middle of a war zone.
Yeah, Iraq.
So
I really like that. Again, you've gone from bright white coldness
to a desert. To a desert with a tank driving. Well, not tank, what do they call them? Like armoured jeep.
Yeah.
Driving through it. There's a jeep chase. I can't say that. There's a jeep chase going on. And one of them overturns and the gunner on the top takes out everyone with his big gun.
Yeah.
Blows the car up.
Yeah, kills the insurgents.
Kills the rebels. And that turns out that is Alexander Skarsgård, who is playing Medora's husband, Vernon.
Yeah.
He's got a friend who was driving the Jeep who gets out and takes a selfie with the dead people.
Yeah.
Right. horribly.
This is dark.
Because this next bit is very dark.
Yeah.
So later on that presumably that same day, Vernon's walking through this village in Iraq.
Yep.
And you hear some noises inside a house. He looks through the window, and there is a lady villager being raped
by an American
soldier, who is the same soldier that was taking the selfies earlier. So Vernon quietly sneaks up and stabs him violently in the side.
Yeah.
About 100 times.
Yeah.
Kills him.
Well, nearly.
Nearly kills him.
Because he then gives the knife to the villager.
Yeah, and walks away. And then you hear more stabbing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was dark.
Yeah.
That was dark.
So he walks out, he lights a cigarette.
Yeah.
And wham, he gets shot in the neck.
Shot in the neck instantly. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not pulling any punches, this film, over the early doors.
No. I thought it was a great start.
Yeah, I agree.
I was brilliant.
So that story device is used to get him sent home.
Yeah, he's evacuated by a medic.
Yeah, Medi helicopter comes, picks him up, and one of his mates says, "Well, you're going home. Well done. Yeah. You've been shot, you're going home." So we head back to Alaska.
Yeah, and Cor's about to head out.
Yeah, he's getting his hiking boots and gear on.
In search of these wolves.
Yeah.
As he's on his way out of the village, he's kind of stopped by the wise old Eskimo lady.
Can you say Eskimo?
I think so.
Can you?
Why can't I?
I think it's racist.
I don't think it is.
Is it? I don't know.
Inuit?
Is that racist? One of them's racist.
I've got to say something.
Lady villager in Alaska.
Native lady.
And
she says to him, that girl, i.e. Medora, knows evil.
Yes. Does she say something about it's not grief, it's evil, or something like that?
Yeah.
She says something really weird. So, but Cor ignores that. As far as he knows, he's just here to find her.
He says to a favour, he's doing a good deed.
He's doing a good deed for a lady in need who's just looking for a son. He finds a cave.
Yep.
And then he heads to higher ground. He heads up this little mound of snow. And he does the most amazing wolf impression I've ever seen.
He's got a great wolf
call. And it works because he finds some tracks and he starts to follow the pack. He finds this pack of wolves and starts to follow them. There's about five or six of them there, I think, these wolves, and they're eating a baby wolf.
Yeah. They've turned.
Hence, doesthedogdie.com. Yeah. Yes, an animal does die because that one's being eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just as he's watching them, he takes a tumble.
He does. He slips down
in like
hill.
A hill, like an embankment. But the gun doesn't.
No, so that's halfway up the hill.
His gun stops at the top of the hill as he falls down. And the wolves come running.
Yeah.
So we have a bit of a chase.
And Cor manages to sort of scramble back up. He does get his gun. Yeah. And he sort of levels it at the wolves.
Yeah.
And then you've got a kind of Mexican standoff.
Yeah.
Or an Alaskan standoff.
I really like that bit. There was real tension in that.
There was.
Of him scrambling back up this hill. Because he's not a young man. He's probably playing older than his years as well. But he scrambled back and he just managed to get to the gun in the time. And the wolves eventually turn away.
They do.
And leave him.
They do. So he tracks back.
Yeah, he heads back to the cabin. But she isn't there. Medora's not there.
No, she's not.
So he goes around, he calls her out, calls her name out a few times, goes looking for her.
He warms himself by the fire.
Yeah, heads down to the basement.
And he spots that the lock is like
undone
going down to the basement.
Yeah, which has been locked the whole time. And what does he find when he gets to the basement?
Finds a dead kid.
Finds a dead boy.
Yeah.
The son is dead in the basement.
And he is wrapped in plastic.
Yeah, like a tarp. So he freaks out, he alerts the townsfolk.
And the sheriff.
Police. It turns out that Medora had strangled the kid, and the villagers believe she's possessed by a wolf demon.
Yeah.
So it's kicking off.
Yeah, she's nowhere to be seen, and Cor is sort of escorted out of town to a motel.
Yeah.
By a new character who comes in at this point, Detective Mariam.
Yes.
And that's sort of end of act, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it is. This is a great start.
Yeah.
I mean, we're probably 20 minutes, half an hour into the film?
Yeah, maybe a bit longer than that, but
maybe a bit longer. But yeah, I'm really.
It's a good set. It's a great setup.
I'm all in at this.
Great setup. Then we get a quick flashback between Vernon and the son. I didn't pick up what the son's name was.
Bailey.
Right. Okay. So obviously, before he deployed out to Iraq, and they're sort of bonding after having been hunting and killed a deer.
Yes.
And Vernon basically tells his son that it's okay to kill if you have to do it to protect what you love.
Yeah.
And all the way through this is just, we've only seen Vernon in 2 scenes.
Yeah.
And there's big creepy vibes.
Yeah.
Not all is right with this
Proper
guy.
creepy. I've not asked you for a one-word review. I'm going to cut in.
That's fine.
What's your one-word review?
Cold.
Cold, yeah. Bloody freezing.
And I will further explain why as we go through.
Okay.
But not just in a literal sense.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. So in the next bit, Vernon is back, comes home.
Yes.
In the middle of all this that's kicking off.
So we're in the police station.
Yeah.
He's sitting in a corridor opposite Core.
Yeah. And the policeman kind of says to him, Core's not under any suspicion. We've just got him here because he was the last person to talk to your wife.
Yeah.
Do you want to ask him any questions? And he says, can you raise the dead?
Yeah.
And Core says no, and then he says, then I have no questions.
Yeah.
That's my line of the film. I thought that summed this film up so well.
Yeah.
The way that was delivered and the way it was written. That's my line of the film. Can you raise the dead? No, then I have no questions.
So Vernon has to go and identify his son.
Yeah.
In the morgue. He does that. He comes out and he shakes Core's hand.
Yes, he does.
Which was somehow more ominous than if he'd have.
Yeah, because he didn't
thrown a punch at him or something.
Because he refused to shake the cop's hands.
Yeah, he did.
And then,
so Core and Sheriff and Detective Mariam leave.
Yeah,
because they're heading back to the
hotel. And Vernon shoots the two cops that are left in the head.
Yeah,
just
quite brutally.
Just whammo. That the second one when that kid's begging for his life.
Executes him. Yeah.
Yeah, that kid's like no.
Yeah,
and then he shoots him. I didn't see that coming, and that really sets the pace now of what we've got.
Yeah, so he's not on his own though. His friend comes to help him.
Yeah.
Chion,
yeah.
Who's another native to the village.
Yeah.
So it turns out that Chion's daughter was also taken by wolves.
Yes, but they never found.
But they've never found her.
Never found a body.
And he is friends with Vernon, so he helps Vernon bury the policeman.
Yeah.
And they go back into the morgue.
Yeah.
And they take
Bailey's body.
The body.
Put it in a box.
Put it in a makeshift coffin.
Yeah.
And they bury that as well.
Bury it in the snow.
They're kind of part of that point. And,
Vernon goes home at that point.
Yeah, and Sion sort of says, I'll hold off basically, I'll give you some time while you have to go and do what you want to do.
Yeah, so he basically, he wants to avenge the death of his son.
So he's going to go looking for Medora.
But yeah, and he doesn't want anybody getting in the way of that, which is why he's taking the police out.
Yeah.
And he needs to do it. He needs to get vengeance himself.
Yeah,
basically. So he goes home. He's got the police report on his missing wife, which he reads and then burns, and then you see him preparing his gun.
Yeah.
Is this where the old lady comes in?
Yeah. So Vernon goes to see the old lady again, and she tells a story of how that when she was a little girl, she remembers seeing bodies stacked up in the village.
Yeah.
Because the village was swept with flu.
Yeah.
And it almost wiped out the whole village. So bodies, the authorities were literally stacking bodies throughout the village. But one morning, everyone woke up, and the bodies were strewn everywhere.
Yeah,
because wolves had come and eaten them.
Yeah,
and it all sounds really good, and it's good exposition, and it's good points. Some of that stuff really dragged.
Yeah, that scene really did.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
At times, this film felt a lot longer than it was.
Yeah, it is over 2 hours long, but
that's an average.
It's an average film. It's longer than a lot of the films we've done.
Yeah,
because a lot of the Netflix stuff's about 90 minutes films, but yeah, it did drag a little bit, but I think it needed to be in there. It needed some backstory.
Is a fine balance on this between creating the atmosphere it wanted, yet not pulling and dragging down the story and the narrative. I think
you needed to know that the wolves had been before.
Yeah, and it will have some parallels with what will happen in a few minutes.
Exactly, it all makes sense in the end.
So Mr. Core is then he's in a motel. He's ill. He's got a cold.
Yeah, he's
a bit like me.
Yeah,
he's in bed. He's waiting to go home basically.
Yeah,
and he tries to contact his daughter, who's also in Alaska.
Yeah, she works in Anchorage,
and she's teaching.
Yeah,
so he leaves her a message.
Yeah,
he then has a vision of Medora.
Yes,
and she says to him in this vision or dream, "There's something wrong with the sky."
Yes, and then she just vanishes. She's like lying next to him on the bed.
Yeah,
and then she just vanishes.
So Core tries to ring the detective at the police station.
Yeah,
but there's no one there.
Because they've all been massacred.
No, because they're out. Yeah,
they're out.
Detective Mariam and the remaining policemen
are looking into who shot all the other policemen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Core goes back to the village.
Yeah.
And he finds the old lady.
Yeah.
Who has also been murdered.
Yeah, her throat's been slit.
By Vernon.
What's the cop called? Mariam.
Detective Mariam.
He goes to see
Chion,
Vernon's mate, to try and I think he's figured out that Vernon's behind all this.
Yeah, and they knew when Mariam and Cor left the night before, they left Vernon and Cheon with the other 2 policemen.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt about in their minds.
Because in the police station, when he's looking over all the dead bodies, he says, there's going to be a war or something. So he heads down to see Cheon with a lot of policemen.
Yes, like the whole police department.
The police department follows him.
There's like 4 police cars and a couple of
and he
vans. And
he tries to reason with him. He's like, let us do our job. We'll find her.
Yeah, don't stand in our way.
Don't stand in our way. Don't get involved. Cheon says, we will find Maduro without the police's help.
Yeah.
And so he walks away. What's his name? Median?
Mariam.
I don't know why I can't get that in my head. He walks away and...
Cheon, closes the door on him. Mariam retreats back to with all the other cops.
Yeah.
And then, so the way the shack is pretty much just a shack cabin is laid out is that you've got the door downstairs and then upstairs you've got a kind of double door.
Yeah.
That sort of swings open and Cheon's sitting behind a massive machine gun.
Yeah.
And he starts slaying these policemen.
He Cor spots that it's going to happen, so he manages to get
under a car and get the other guy out of the way. I've already forgotten his name again. Mariam.
Why can't that will not come into my head?
So he's with like a young deputy, so they're behind another car.
So they're hiding, but these policemen are getting mown down
and
all over the shop.
What happens now is 15 minutes of probably the best shootout I've seen in
exactly what I've written here. This is a great firefight. I watched this in the cinema, in the streamboat with my projector and my soundbar booming, and it was so loud. It was like constant for at least 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. These cops are getting annihilated. The cars are blowing up. There's bullet holes everywhere. It's a fucking brilliant firefight.
It's a bloodbath.
It is a bloodbath.
It's a total bloodbath.
Everything the cops fire at him is missing.
Yeah.
He's not in any danger at all. And
it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It was so gripping. It was gripping.
It was really gripping. It was really good. I would go as far as to say that as a single scene, it is probably the best thing we've seen on this podcast.
Oh yeah, 100% agree.
It was
100% agree.
Brilliant. So the head cop, whose name has gone again,
Mariam.
I must write it down. Mariam. He kind of manages to get to the side of the house. So he
kind of flanks it a little bit, doesn't he?
At the same time, one of the other cops has been shot, but he's still alive.
Yeah.
He's just lying in the way. So the young cop who was with him decides, he makes a decision, I'm going to go and try and help my mate.
Yeah, so he walks out right into the path of the machine gun.
And his fucking legs get shot off. It literally, this packs no punches. No. This is all in. And he's screaming in the road. Cor gets a gun from somewhere. He's shooting up. He manages to rescue the young guy. So
Cor basically just goes for broke and he walks straight down the middle as Cheon is reloading the machine gun.
And he just pulls this young guy out of the way.
Yeah. At the same time, Mariam has sort of snuck round the back. Yeah. He's avoided a tripwire because he noticed that the door's booby-trapped.
The door's booby-trapped with another shotgun.
And basically, he gets up. He gets behind Cheon.
Yeah.
And
they have a bit of a standoff.
Yeah.
They say something between each other and then they've got their guns pointed at each other and Cheon just goes, boom.
Yeah.
And that tricks him into shooting him.
Yeah.
And he shoots him and he flies out the window and just lands in the snow.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so amazing.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved that scene. It was crazy times.
Yeah, it was great.
I wasn't expecting it in this film. When I saw this film come up, I wasn't expecting anything like this. And it was brilliant. That scene's worth watching this film alone.
And it really popped because they'd stood at the front door and talked for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They'd brought the pace right down.
Yeah.
And it is a slow film in parts.
Yeah, it is.
So that's not necessarily a criticism.
No, not at all. If it's done right, it's slow from works.
Although, I
parts
think
of it,
there were probably a few bits you could have trimmed off.
Yeah.
But to slow it down at that point and then just bang, 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 straight into that scene.
As soon as them doors opened upstairs, it was just like, it was crazy for 15 minutes. It was so loud sitting in here listening to it and watching it. It was brilliant. Cut from that, you get a cops in the hospital montage.
Yep.
So there's like...
So Mariam sees his wife.
Yeah.
So she's watching all these bodies come in, body after body on these gurneys, and then Mariam walks in.
Because Cheon all the way through was saying, your wife's going to be getting a phone call this afternoon.
Yeah.
But how that was his threat to her. And so you see the scene of his wife not getting the phone call and him, I've forgotten his name again, him turning up and them kind of being reunited.
Yeah. He was great as well. So James Badgedale plays Detective Mariam, and I thought he was really good as well. Badgedale.
Great.
So
double barrel.
Yes.
Nice.
I think he was fantastic.
Cool. So then we cut to Vernon, who's gone to a different town. He's gone to a hotel to see if he's basically trying to track Medora down.
I think hotel's a bit of a stretch. It's basically a mining camp, isn't it?
Yeah.
Out in the wilds.
Out in the wilds. It was a hotel, but she'd only got one room. Well, she got 2 rooms, but she lived in one of them.
Yeah.
But she admits that she has seen Medora and she was staying there, although she's not there anymore. So she takes him to the room that Medora had stayed in.
Yeah.
He smells the bed.
Yeah. Creepy.
And then he says to the hotel lady, "I need a hunter."
And she says, "Yeah, you're the woman you're looking for."
Yeah.
Came to see the Indian hunter.
Yeah. He meets up with this guy.
Yeah. So that happens in a bit, doesn't it? So it cuts here.
Oh, does it?
I think. Yes, it does.
Okay.
It cuts back to Core having dinner with Detective Mariam at his house.
Okay.
And the only reason I want to point that out is because I didn't think that worked for me. They've just been in the middle of this massive massacre, and then the next time we see them, they're having a nice, relaxed dinner at home. Yeah, I know, but it just didn't.
Yeah,
I am being super critical.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I felt it was a bit jarring.
Yeah, it was like the sort of the same, that sort of thing happens every day.
Yeah.
And even Medora...
There was no reflection, and they'd shrugged it off.
He even says at one point that was the most crazy thing he's ever seen as a cop.
Yeah.
And then they're just...
But then it's like, oh well, we're still looking for this woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I hadn't even written that down. Yeah. That scene was in there, so...
That's fine. And I've literally just got the one line, Cora has dinner with the detective. But it just jarred me a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Vernon's having dinner with the Indian hunter / shaman, I've sort of...
Yeah, I think he was. And he admits that he has seen Medora.
Yeah.
So he kills him as well.
Yeah, but he says a couple of interesting things, that the hunter shaman guy. So he notes that wolves sometimes eat their young.
Yeah.
Which we've seen.
Yeah.
And if she is a wolf demon, she's killed her son.
Yeah.
So there's some good parallels here. And he also says Vernon and Medora have the same eyes.
Oh,
now,
I didn't spot that.
Going back to your question on does the dog die.com earlier about incest.
Yeah.
This was what I was getting at. I was like, well, is he hinting that they're related?
Oh, possibly. They are from a very small village in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And it was just left hanging there that as a... Maybe. It was never explicitly
The answer was yes on doesthedog.com. Does the die...
Yeah, but that's
I can't even say that. Doesthedogdie.com. Yeah.
So I think there is a possibility there.
Yeah. So Vernon, this guy's got a load of the same sort of wolf masks that Medora had.
Yeah.
And in fact, Medora's left her mask with him.
Yeah.
And Vernon chooses one off his wall, which is even creepier than the one she was wearing.
Yeah.
Wooden, wolf mask. And puts it on, and then he kills the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as he's leaving, the lady from the hotel bursts out with a shotgun, and she starts blasting at him.
She's a good shot.
She is a good shot. She gets him.
Shoots Vernon in the shoulder as he's driving away.
Shoulder as he's driving away. So he drives to see a friend.
Yeah.
Who we are introduced to now, who is Mason Blair.
Yeah.
Who's the writer of this film and Dogface Man from Murder Party.
Yeah.
The guy with the chainsaw.
Yeah.
I just think of him as the guy with the plug-in chainsaw from Murder Party. He takes the bullet out of his shoulder.
Yeah.
And offers him some soup.
And a place to rest.
Yeah.
And then cuts back to Core and Mariam putting their plan together. So they kind of work out that they think Medora has gone over to find some hot springs, basically.
Yeah.
That she'd mentioned to Core before.
Yeah. The only place she's ever been where she was warm.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
So I think that's where she's heading. Then cuts back to Vern at his friend's house.
Yeah.
As he wakes up, he walks in to find his friend basically on the phone chopping him into the police.
Yes.
What does he do to him?
He buries his knife into the very top of the man's head.
Yeah.
He literally just digs it straight down into the top of his head.
It was grim.
It was very grim. This is dark, this film. So, Core and the cop... Mariam, thank you. They get a plane.
Yeah, Mariam can fly.
He can't fly. He can fly a plane.
Oh, okay.
So they think that's the quickest way to find the wolf pack from the air. So we get some more nice aerial shots of Alaska.
Beautiful, yeah.
Beautiful town. Beautiful state. Beautiful state. And they find the wolves. They land on a frozen lake, which when he got out of the plane, I was like, please slip over. Because if I got out of a plane on a frozen lake, I would be on my arse instantly. But he doesn't, and they find some fresh wolf prints, and they are standing around looking at these prints, and suddenly an arrow goes straight through his neck.
Through Detective
Marion's neck. So I don't have to worry about him anymore, because it literally goes in and out in a split second.
He is dead. Vernon is also an expert archer.
Yeah.
Somewhere he stopped along the way and got a very expensive looking bow.
Yeah, rebound bow.
And Detective Marion is no more.
Yeah, it literally goes in and out within a split second. He wouldn't have even seen it coming.
No.
And then it just hits the snow behind him.
So Core is all on his own.
Yeah, it's 1-on-1.
But he finds the cave quite quickly.
He does.
And I'm presuming it was the same cave he came across when he was trekking originally.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So he kind of knew where he was going.
Yeah.
And who's in the cave?
Medora.
She is.
So he tries to get her to come with him to say, look, Vernon's hunting you down. You need to come with me. And then he takes an arrow.
He does.
In the shoulder. So he's not dead.
No, he's very badly wounded.
Very badly wounded.
He's got an arrow in him. Yeah. Through him.
So Vernon comes into the cave where Medora is.
Yeah.
He grabs her around the throat.
Yeah.
Lifts her off her feet.
Yeah.
She takes his mask off and they have a kiss.
Yeah. So suddenly cut to the next morning. All three of them still in the cave. They're all still alive.
Yeah.
Vernon comes over to Core, pulls the arrow out.
Yeah, he unscrews the arrowhead.
Yeah.
And then pulls it back through his... It was horrible.
And Medora and Vernon leave together.
Yes, and they leave Core in the cave.
Yeah.
On his own. He tries to crawl away, but the wolves are there.
Yeah.
They're watching him.
So again, we've got our Alaskan standoff.
Yeah.
Core versus wolf.
Yeah. So they start heading towards him, and two guys on a snowmobile turn up.
Yeah.
Skidoo snowmobile. Vernon digs up Bailey's body, and they drag it through the snow.
Yeah, and that's the last we see of Vernon
and Medora. That's the last we see of Vernon and Medora.
I didn't mind, the bit where Core was saved by the passers-by.
No, I didn't.
Because, and I just appreciate the effort, is just before they landed in the plane, Vernon said to Detective Marion, "Oh, there's a snow machine down there."
Yeah.
And Marion said, "Is it Vernon? Is it Medora? Is it who we're looking for?" And he said, "No." So and just that little hint of they're, because those guys were close, they're the ones that rescued him.
Yeah.
I just helped.
No, I liked it. Yeah, I'm fine with
nice detail.
As you see them dragging Bailey's body through the snow, the wolves are following as well.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thing. Some villagers help Core heal his shoulder.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up in a hospital and his wife's there. Daughter's there. Is it his daughter?
Well, I presume so. Because that's who we rang earlier.
Yeah.
The teacher.
So I saw a lady. I presume. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. His daughter was there. And that's the end of Hold the Dark.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Mostly good.
Yeah.
Parts of it were great.
Yeah.
On the whole, I
love that phrase.
It left me a little bit cold.
Really?
A little bit.
Okay.
I just think I wanted a bit more from some of the characters. I think the actors were all great.
Yeah.
But there was a bit of distance. Like Core wasn't as sympathetic as I wanted him to be.
Yeah, okay, I'll agree with that.
My favourite character was actually Detective Marion.
Yeah, he was really good. He did play it really well.
Because I felt he had more... I almost felt like he had more skin in the game. He had more to lose.
It's interesting you say that about Core, because I think Medora and Vernon were supposed to be distant and you weren't supposed to sympathise with them.
Because they were weirdos.
They're wolf demons.
Yeah.
They were basically... Everything they did, when you look back on that film now, everything they did in that film is what wolves would do.
Yeah.
And what wolves did do. And it was all foreshadowed by the pack of wolves. But yeah, Core's character maybe wasn't as rounded as it could have been. But that, for me, that's a minor criticism. I'm not...
But I enjoyed it.
I loved it. I thought it was really good.
It's I'm going to say this. Like, I don't mean to disparage everything else by saying this, but this was a proper film.
We've said it a few times.
It was like...
We keep
the way
saying
it was shot, written...
Yeah, we keep saying... Occasionally we'll say, this is a proper film. And we've said it about 4 or 5 times now. And we must get around to the fact that we're actually reviewing proper films. But you're right. Yeah, I know what you mean. It was like... There was more budget than we used to. There was a longer runtime than we used to. It was shot... To say this is the same director that directed Murder Party, mental. There's a world of difference between those two films.
I appreciated the depth to it. The detail, the attention to detail was great. cinematography was brilliant. Performances were really good.
Yeah.
I did really enjoy it. There was just something that I don't know what it was. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
Parts of it just left me a bit cold. I didn't really, like I say, I was really disappointed when Mariam died, and I kind of wanted to see more of him, and I wasn't that bothered about Core.
Yeah.
And he was like the main character.
Yeah.
And I didn't quite.
I didn't
really connect with him.
Connect with him, okay.
And I think that's the only. Maybe that's just a personal thing, but I just didn't.
Do you think it would have been better if he'd have died and Mariam would have survived?
Possibly.
Taking out Core would have been a really good twist at the end.
Yeah.
Kill your main character off. Maybe that would have worked slightly better.
Yeah. But that's not to disparage the performance of, because Jeffrey Wright was great.
Yeah, he was. He was really good.
Yeah, I think I just didn't quite get that connection with that character, and maybe that's probably it. I think. But yeah, on the whole, no.
I would recommend anybody go and watch it.
Yeah, really enjoyed it.
It's violent. If you're not into violent films, then you're probably not going to enjoy it. There's a lot of.
It's got a real rhythm to it, this film. So it's like slow, build, and then it's like bang, pow.
Yeah. Hits you in the face.
Yeah.
When it is slow though, it is really slow, and everybody talks in whispers.
Really,
it's really quiet. You have to really strain your ears.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it'll like hit you with that gunfire, for instance.
Yeah.
And it is so loud, and that contrast between the same as at the beginning between the snow and the desert.
Yeah.
There's two completely different sound profiles to this film, and it's like everybody whispers.
Yeah.
It's really quiet, and then it'll be bang.
Yeah.
Come and look at this.
But there's loads to like here. Like we've talked about how it looks. You've got like, even in the midst of the shootout, you've got the blood on the snow. Yeah. So you've got all these contrasts. One thing that really stuck out to me, and we've probably not mentioned it in many films we've seen, I thought the score to this was really good. Really good. So again, the music sort of ebbed and flowed really well with the action, and it really added to the atmosphere.
Audio, the whole audio track, everything in the audio was amazing. Yeah. Like I was saying about it being quiet and loud and quiet, and then the music adding to that, and the wolf calls, and we don't mention it enough, but I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good.
Cool.
Good pick from the randomizer this week.
Definitely, yeah. It's been a while since we've had a really good film. I'd watch that. I would recommend anybody go and watch it, unless you really don't turned off by violence. Which is interesting, because that brings us to the stream table. I can see you looking at it with your eyes.
I am using my eyes.
You're using your eyes to look at it. Who wants to go first? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, okay.
Go on, where do you think it sits?
So, it's definitely top half.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm just debating. Does it sneak into the top 5 or not?
Wow.
I'm struggling a bit, because I can see an argument for it being anywhere from 3rd to 6th.
Do you want me to tell you where I am on it?
Because, and the reason I say that, the reason I say that is because I've enjoyed all of those films. Yeah.
So the top 6, if you're saying between 3rd and 6th, the top 6 are The Dawn Wall, Mirage, Little Evil, Cube, Night of the Comet, and Bait. Yeah. It definitely fits in there somewhere.
Yeah. I think it's better than Bait, personally. I agree. I'd have it above Bait.
I agree. For me, I'm going to tell you where I think it goes.
I think I know what you're going to say, but go on.
I think it goes in at number 3.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. I think it's better. I think it's a better film than Little Evil.
Yeah. I mean, this is that old thing of it gets really difficult to compare.
And it is getting harder every week to get things up there.
Well, I think we have an answer to that, don't we? Which we may talk about soon. But it's very hard to compare something like this to something like Little Evil.
It is.
Because they're worlds apart.
They're completely... Nothing in that top 6 is anything like this film.
I wouldn't be against putting this 3rd. Personally...
It isn't.
I thought Mirage was better.
It isn't better than Mirage. Mirage is... Yeah. As a film... Mirage is the best thing we've seen. Yeah. The Dawn Wall is a documentary, and it is excellent, and everybody should watch it. Mirage is a film, and it is the best film we've seen so far. It isn't better than Mirage. It is better than Little Evil.
I wouldn't argue with that. I'm quite happy with it going that high.
Cool.
I mean, it's one of those things where on any given day I might actually go, oh no, I prefer to watch Little Evil. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm struggling with, but this was a great watch.
Shall we talk about what we're going to do?
Yeah, are we agreeing first? We'll put it in 3rd.
We'll put it in 3rd.
Okay, fine.
We weren't going to talk about this just yet, because we're going to leave it for a few more weeks, but we are coming towards the end of season 1 of Bottom of the Stream. Yeah?
Yes. So we've got 21 films.
There's 21 films on the list. When we get to 25, we're going to cut the list off.
We're going to close the table.
We're going to close the table because it is getting harder and harder every week to put things in it.
Yeah.
That will be the end of season 1.
Yeah.
We will then do a recap episode, which will be episode 26, and then we will start season 2 the week after.
Correct.
There may be some rule changes. There may be... The stream table might not be the same as it is now, but we've not fully decided yet.
Oh, we're in negotiations.
We weren't even going to talk about this. You're getting spoilers. Yeah, so there's going to end up... The stream table is going to end up with 25 films in, basically. The current stream table is the way it sits.
Season 1.
Season 1.
Yeah.
We will not miss a week. There will not be a week missing, but the week 26 will not be dedicated to a film. It'll be us recapping all the films that we've talked about.
Yeah.
But there will always be a podcast every week.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, so look forward to that. You've got 4 more to go in this season. Shall we pick episode 22?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let me find the randomizer. Right, I'm going to press the button. Here we go.
Ghost Team.
Ghost Team. Okay, what is Ghost Team? Ghost Team is a 2016 film. It is a 15. It is an hour and 23 minutes long, and is a comedy thriller. Do you want to know the synopsis?
Is it going to be a shit Ghostbusters?
Yeah. A paranormal obsessed man mounts his own investigation into the beyond with his depressed best friend, misfit nephew, a cable access medium, and an over-eager security guard.
Okay.
It's going to be a shit Ghostbusters.
It might be good.
It might be a good Ghostbusters. Do you want to watch the trailer?
Yeah.
Oh, come in! Come in! Somebody come in! Ah! Oh no! Oh God! Don't do that, you dick!
I remember when you were a little kid, you used to dream of owning your very own print and copy shop?
Nope.
Yeah, me neither. Thank you. This guy came into my shop today.
I have a broken down old barn. It's probably haunted.
Say haunted?
It's just very, very creepy.
If we could document some ghost activity, we can actually do something with our lives.
I'm in.
They have a tech specialist guy.
Well, that's what we need.
He's a genius.
We don't have night vision goggles per se, but I do have 2 digital cameras with night vision settings. I duct tape them to a baseball helmet.
Get on the ground! We're putting together this little team, and you're obviously tough.
All right, I'll do it. Rather not see civilians get hurt on my watch.
You're a civilian, though, because that badge is plastic and you work in a mall.
With any luck, tomorrow morning, I'll found some ghosts.
Yes!
We've been catching EMF spikes all night long, but no source.
Did you die in this room?
We need to open up a line of communication with them.
If there are any spirits present, let them make themselves known.
You've angered us!
I don't think we're welcomed here.
Has anybody been in the barn since Stan and I were here? Look. Go. This is our chance, go. What was that? There's a face.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
We got a face!
Ross?
This is like where Mel Gibson sees the aliens in Signs.
Give the alien thing a rest for 1 second. Okay, 2 of our friends just got taken by demons.
Oh, so it's okay to believe in ghosts, but aliens are ridiculous.
Do me a favor, if you see a zombie, don't shoot him in the chest, okay? You gotta aim for the head.
Quit it! Stop it! You're getting spit on! I don't want you!
Well, that's going to go one of 2 ways.
Yeah, so you might be right.
It's going to be interesting, that one. So, yeah, Ghost Team, that's called. Go and check it out. And we'll be back next week to talk about it.
Sure will. Thanks for listening.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.